Hey there, it's another beautiful day. Let's watch some stuff.
Do you know why Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, carries this blue backpack with him everywhere he goes? According to Sam, inside this backpack is a kill switch that is to be used in the case that ChatGPT goes rogue. Altman has recently made some pretty disturbing and startling comments. He told Fortune magazine last month that what I lose the most sleep over is the hypothetical idea that we have already done something very bad by launching ChatGPT. When asked by Fox News what potential dangerous things AI could do, he said, quote, "An AI could design novel biological pathogens." He went on to say that AI is as dangerous as nuclear war. Mitigating the risk of human extinction caused by AI should be a global priority, according to Altman. It seems Altman is quite concerned with AI's potential to do harm to humanity. Let's hope that detonation button he carries actually works.
Let's also hope that AI already hasn't figured out a way around that little detonation device.
What role she has played over the past several days?
Well, I'm in constant contact with her. She's aware we're singing from the same song sheet. She helped pass all the laws that are being employed now. She was a major player in everything we've done, including passage of legislation which we were told we could never pass. And so she's been, and her staff is interlocked with mine in terms of all the things we're doing.
Lo and behold, our fearless leader throwing Kamala under the bus. But look what else he did.
I do have a note, and I'm curious what you think about this. We were actually about to go live to Vice President Kamala Harris, who's speaking right now in Detroit, Michigan, and apparently she's talking about this port strike ending. She's trying to appeal to union workers, and yet you have the President of the United States come out clearly overshadowing her, answering significant questions. Is that a communications mistake? Is the left hand not talking to the right hand in this situation?
That's a very good point. And if they were coordinated, as you assume they would be, this would not have happened.
So this appearance was something out of character for the president. And I feel like it was something strategic. Like maybe Kamala is doing something somewhere that they're just like, hey, let's overshadow it with you. Go in there and talk, which he never does. I don't know. I feel like there's something under there.
Max's theory states that the Large Hadron Collider actually destroyed the old universe, where Bernstein Bears was spelled with an E. The idea is that an infinite number of parallel universes must exist. Therefore, what must have happened is the old timeline was smashed into this timeline and was destroyed. So we are from the old universe, but we are now in this universe or timeline. Max believes that when CERN performed the collision, it changed the atomic weight of an electron, which all have the exact same mass. This caused all of the other electrons to adjust and become the same weight, collapsing the old universe into a new hybrid universe where the weight of an electron is slightly different. But if this was only one, what is going to come up next?
Now, I know this theory is a little bit old, but it's fascinating. And if you haven't heard of it before, isn't it mind-boggling? And I've also heard that they thought that a black hole was created and that we've just been slowly getting sucked into this black hole. And that's why things are changing and stuff is weird. I don't know. It's a cool theory.
Are you worried about the spread of bird flu in California and its potential impact on public health? 2 new cases of bird flu have been diagnosed in California this week. Both patients were dairy workers and their illnesses were mild. 16 dairy farm workers have tested positive for H5N1 this year. The number of infected herds in California has risen to 56 from 16 in just 2 weeks. Dr. Nirav Shah from the CDC states, more herds testing positive means more worker exposure. However, the risk to the public remains low. Experts are concerned about H5N1 appearing in multiple states. Flu viruses can acquire new abilities by swapping their genes. One person infected with both bird flu and seasonal flu could help H5N1 spread more easily among people. It could be nothing, or it could lead to a major human outbreak. Experts emphasize the importance of continued vigilance and testing to mitigate the risks of H5N1. Stay informed and stay safe. Follow the health curator for more health information.
Yes, sir, Mr. David Attenborough, sir. That certainly was an interesting transition that was predicted there, that if somebody has bird flu and the regular flu at the same time, that's how it's going to mutate. We're going to go ahead and keep an eye on that. Hey, thanks so much for stopping by today. I really appreciate you being here. If you could do me a huge favor and hit that like button for me, it'll really help out my channel. And if this is your kind of content, won't you consider subscribing and then come back tomorrow, because I'm making a new episode every day.
Guys, check out what Ron DeSantis just said, and then I'm going to show you something. Ron DeSantis is the governor of the state of Florida.
How Helene had made major impacts far inland and many states, not just the state of Florida, particularly in the mountainous areas of western North Carolina. So we activated and stood up Operation Blue Ridge. That is helping recovery and rescue assistance to the folks in western North Carolina and eastern Tennessee. We have Florida Division of Emergency Management, our Florida State Guard, Florida National Guard, Transportation, Fish and Wildlife, all on site.
All right, guys, this is undeniable. See, I'm damn near in Atlanta. I'm coming up through Atlanta right now, and that's a Florida Police Department. Okay, you see that? That's a Florida license plate. Let me get you a good view. In that crate with those holes, that's a dog, and I guarantee you it's a cadaver dog. They smell bodies. And I saw on the news that the cadaver dogs in North Carolina are getting overworked. So they're sending as many dogs as they can to go help find people, because the toll is a lot worse than what they're saying on the news. And I have a feeling I'm not going to be able to catch up with them, because, I mean, we're going freaking 80 miles an hour. My truck only goes 82 miles an hour.
That's fantastic. It's good to see the states look out for one another. And if we have additional resources, we should send them over there, because they need help.
So, just another question for you. So you're saying if I make this right-hand turn, I'm going to jail? Yes. For trying to deliberate?
Yes. Listen.
What's the law that I'm breaking?
What I was telling you, your buddy a minute ago, and you can video me if you want.
Yep.
What I was telling you a minute ago, Burnsville Chief Bradley Boone is up here at the fire department. He has plenty of supplies. They don't need anything else down here.
I'm not worried about the fire department.
DOT has the road closed to unless it's locals or people actually working up here on the roads, because there's so many people up here. They don't need any more aid up here. Okay. They're having issues with the roads are degrading. They're falling in, where they've had plenty of people go up through there that shouldn't.
But under what law are y'all going to arrest?
Resist, delay, and obstruct.
Resisting what?
Our orders to stay off the road. Yeah. So you can do,
Even with the proper paperwork?
Listen, I'm telling you right now. We did the same thing to somebody else the other day. If you've got aid and you're trying to get it to people, we want you to take it to Mountain Heritage High School and get it distributed out. The chief of the fire department said they don't need any more because they've got plenty. Okay. They're overrun with stuff. They've got plenty of.
Hey, how many kerosene heaters did they want up there?
There have been so many stories coming out about people being turned away and told, oh, you can't help, and FEMA arresting people for trying to help. Now, what I think is going on is there are some areas where it is not safe. They're not just going to let anybody go in there traipsing around because you brought a case of water to try to help. There are things that you can do, and let them direct you to the places where you can help, because there are so many people driving across country to go and help. And it's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. And it's wonderful. But be smart about it and be careful, please.
Florida's about to be hit by a hurricane more powerful than Helene. So Hurricane Milton is a Category 5 hurricane headed straight towards Florida right now. Now, Milton has winds that are apparently 180 miles per hour, and because of this hurricane, many people across the state of Florida are being urged to evacuate. If you happen to know anyone in the path of the hurricane, please urge them to evacuate. We all saw what happened with Helene, and we don't want a repeat of that. Now, the impact of this hurricane is thought to start within 48 hours of now, but there's still a lot of storm damage from Helene all across Florida, so many crews are working extra hard to try and clean up that debris before Milton makes landfall, because if those extremely strong winds start hitting the debris from Helene, then there is going to be even more damage and destruction done by this storm.
All right, now listen up. Milton's predicted path doesn't show it going up the coast and hitting the Carolinas, but it could shift. And thousands of people are headed there now or are there now trying to help. So keep an eye on it. And if it shifts, grab everybody you can and get out.
Y'all, I really struggled with making this video because I thought people might think I'm crazy, but I've been watching the skies most of my life, and I know my way around up there. No, I'm not an astronomer, but I do know my way around what's going on up there. And the most days out of a month I've ever seen without a visible moon is 3. And in my experience, that was rare. Y'all, this is day 7. We're out here on a clear night, and this is day 7 with no visible moon. That's right, no visible moon. Not only that, but it seems like there's a few stars missing. That I'm not sure of, but what I am sure of is the moon. Y'all, the moon is gone. How is this not the biggest news? How is nobody talking about this? When you Google it, seems like it's in another region. When you Google it, like, it's not visible because it's over Australia, whatever. Guess what? In this day and age, we got contact everywhere. I'm a 40-year-old kid. I play video games. When you play video games, you meet people in other countries. I have several friends in Australia. Guess what? They're talking 2 weeks. 2 weeks with no moon. How is this not the biggest news, y'all? This is crazy. There's no moon. There's no moon. And this is not satire. This is not me making a joke. Y'all, where is the moon? Where is the moon?
It is a big thing, a huge thing. People are making more out of it than it needs to be. It's the natural process of the moon. It's there. We're all just thinking, oh my goodness, the second moon, and suddenly we don't see the moon, and we all seem to forget because we're focusing on something else. But don't worry, the moon is there. All right, Ben, I just dropped my son's friend off in Paris, California, and the moon is out. Let's check it out. There it is in the western sky. Told you I'd go out and look this time.
He hacked and looked at all of the code of ChatGPT and figured out that ChatGPT isn't a computer-generated system.
What is it?
It's actually someone's soul.
Yo, that's what do you mean that's someone's soul?
Check this out. So they have the technology to take people's souls and consciousness and put it into technology. Now, this is where it's right? If there's a scientist that knows and he's like a great inventor.
Yeah.
You would want to hold on to him as long as you can so that you can reap the benefits of later. Just like in Captain America, there was a scientist that created the super soldier serum.
Yeah.
They kept his consciousness within the computer. So he lives forever through a computer. Now, theory is ChatGPT is exactly that. It may not be just one soul that's in it, but countless souls, and that keeps getting added to.
Now, you know that I believe in some crazy, outlandish, and super far-fetched ideas, but that doesn't make sense to me. Not in the way that they said it anyway. Does that make sense to you? Let me know in the comments. Let me know anything in the comments. We'll have a conversation. I reply to everybody.
This is aircraft NOAA-42 flying into the hurricane on September 26, 2024. Hurricane Helena. This is a protocol that is usually done for all hurricanes and storms. But because of the altitude, which was 8,000 feet, which is the typical height or distance of cloud seeding, we would want to know more about this aircraft and if in fact that's what was taking place.
Now, I don't know for sure, so Randy, help me out here. There is a certain altitude for observing when you are taking measurements and stuff like that of hurricanes, so you can like predict the next one and where it's going to go and stuff like that. All the scientific stuff. Apparently, this particular aircraft was at the seeding level. which gives a lot of people reason to think that it caused the hurricane to be as extensive as it was.
I'm going to put on the mask. Senses as well as possible. Get my nose bridge. And to fit the eye holes, I kind of push the crease up here and I try to line up the lower lid with the mask. So usually that's a bit easier to do in front of a mirror. There you have it, guys.
So I wasn't actually trying to make a point or anything here. I just thought that was cool.
China has made major progress in humanoid robotics in the past 48 hours. Here's everything going on in AI right now. Unitree, a high-performance robot manufacturer from China, showcased its new G1 humanoid robot. The updated bot is nearing mass production and comes at a price tag of only $16,000. This thing has insane whole-body control. It's scary to imagine that these things will do your dishes. Furthermore, Agibot, a China-based robotics startup, unveiled a family of 5 advanced humanoid robots. The robots are specifically designed for diverse tasks, from household chores to industrial operations, directly challenging Elon and Tesla's Optimus. But this one is even scary. Remember that episode from Love, Death, and Robots? This is exactly what we are talking about. Astrobot, another Chinese robot company, had revealed Astrobot S1. The 2-wheel robot demo showed the humanoid doing human tasks at 1x speed with no teleoperation. Impressively smooth. It can even connect to your home and control everything you need: TV, temperature, and security. He might be a nice butler if you don't mess with him. So what are your thoughts on that? I guess I'm going to live in the woods. Bye.
Okay, that's not terrifying or anything.
This is wild. Cognify is a new concept for a prison reform where criminals would have the choice to choose between spending tens of years behind bars or instead opt to have AI artificial memories implanted into their brain. The idea is to treat criminals like patients and permanently change their brain chemistry by implanting these artificial memories so that when they re-enter society, they are a new and completely reformed person who mentally cannot commit any more crimes. The way that it works is that depending on the severity of the crime, AI would design these false memories to be implanted that would make the person more empathetic, or in some circumstances, make them physically and emotionally feel the pain of their victims and their victims' families. Even though this process only takes about 7 minutes, to the subject, it would feel like it had been years. Last year, the United States government spent $8.7 billion of taxpayer money on the prison system. This whole process would cut that spend significantly, and we could use that extra money on healthcare, education, and other technology advancements. Not to mention, you would have a whole new group of rehabilitated people entering the workforce and boosting the economy. The only situation that this doesn't sound good for is the person who is convicted guilty when they are actually innocent. Would they choose to spend years behind bars or permanently have their brain altered in order to get out in minutes? If you were in one of these situations, what would you choose?
Supposing this is true, and that's something that is actually being, considered, that's kind of fantastic if it works. But like she said, it's terrifying for an individual who was convicted guilty and actually isn't. But still, I feel like this is a bit of a movie right now. Doesn't mean it can't be true one day, though.
My name is Joseph Spencer. From May 1970 to October 1997, I served the United States government as a top secret operative, but not in a category that is commonly known or understood. I was known as a man in black. Following 7 years acting as a counterintelligence agent for the CIA, I was recruited for a new assignment that entailed working within above top secret operations. I was aware of the black budget projects, but never knew the context of them, due to their high level of secrecy. Even the president was denied access to their inner workings. Annually, billions of dollars are poured into black projects, which operate without any supervision or intrusion. They have full autonomy. Now the grand finale. This is some scary shit. In March 1997, an event known as the Phoenix Lights became the most infamous UFO sighting in history. A mile-wide vessel, clearly not man-made, flew slowly and silently over the state of Arizona and was witnessed by 10,000 people, including the governor of Arizona. To date, there has been no reasonable explanation. But for every witness interviewed, the craft was as real as anything they'd ever seen. Their lives were transformed. They now believe that we truly are not alone. However, there is another truth, for I know what they really saw. In 1986, while stationed at an underground installation near Boulder, Colorado, I was introduced to Project Skybeam by Lieutenant General Andrew Garris. I was then led down a corridor and into a large hangar, where a stealth bomber hovered only 20 feet above me. I stood there confused. Then Garris looked over at me and smiled, then asked if I was certain of what I was seeing. I replied, of course. What else could it be? I was then shocked to find out that this wasn't a real craft. It was a projected hologram. Since the early 1950s, scientists have been developing holographic technology, and over the years improved it to a state that we can only imagine. As I stood there staring at the bomber, which looked so absolutely real and solid that I could reach up and touch it, I contemplated the possibilities. What if this projection was 1,000 feet up in the sky? How would anyone know that that was an illusion? The Phoenix Lights craft, witnessed by 10,000 people, was the first grand-scale skybeam test upon the public. It succeeded beyond expectations. In October 1938, Orson Welles unleashed his War of the Worlds radio broadcast to the American public. It was so realistically portrayed, vast portions of the population went into panic. Terrified citizens scrambled to evacuate their cities in droves. America had been easily tricked by very simple means. To amplify this response, those who are truly in power of not only our country, but all the countries on the planet, and who are the true purveyors of the depopulation process, have formulated the final stage of their sinister plan. In the year 2024, a global event will alter the course of mankind's future. The world will stand witness to a massive alien invasion. Thousands of projected holographic alien warships will blanket the skies, sending people into a global panic. Real military crafts within the holograms will inflict actual damage to the surrounding areas to sell the gimmick. And as a result of the ensuing human chaos, a one-world government will immediately form without any resistance from the people. They will be the new world order. Once this happens, we as a people will be doomed to enslavement and accelerated depopulation. With that said, the only hope for human salvation is to acquire and spread the knowledge of these activities and agendas. Resist, retaliate, then conquer this opposing enemy. The time is now, as humanity is rapidly approaching its final days.
I know I talk about Project Bluebeam a lot, but I absolutely love it. It's so fascinating, and I love when I find new clips of people I'd never seen before telling wonderful stories, and he told an absolutely beautiful story. I loved it. It was great. I love how he said to fight back and resist, because that's how they want to bring about the new world order. But since that cat got out of the bag, they've started a different plan, and that's why our food's all funny.
I just came up with this theory that every person who's ever claimed to have been abducted and probed by aliens is really just recovering from a ditty party and whatever was put in their system. They just weren't aware.
That's that's a funny theory. I just had to share that with you, and I'm going to call it for today. Thank you so much for sharing your time with me. Please come on back tomorrow. We're going to watch some new stuff. I'll say different things, and it's going to be fantastic. Until then, have a wonderful day.